grabbed a trolling fly. Okay, here he comes. I'm gonna try for him. Let's see. I got him! I got him! Oh my God! Look at that stud. Look at that stud of a rainbow. Oh my God. Look at that fish. What a beautiful fish. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Do you want to experience maximum success when it comes to trout trolling? If you do, integrate trolling flies into your arsenal. Go on over to fishhuntshoot.com and pick up one of Kel Kellogg's signature series trolling fly kits today, and you'll be yelling "Fish on" tomorrow. Howdy guys, Kel Kellogg here. Got a viewer question from a guy named Adam. He lives right next door to me in Auburn, California. He took up kayak fishing about a year ago. He's been targeting trout. He said it was tough at first, but he's been catching some fish, and now his skill levels come along. He's fishing lead core. He's trolling with 2 rods at once, and just sounds like he's making a ton of progress. But he had a question about the upcoming summer months. He wanted to know if there is a best time to target trout during the summer, and he's talking about trout in lakes. He fishes a lot of the places I fish, Rollins, French Meadows, stuff like that. And the fact of the matter is, yes, there is a best time to target trout in the summer. There's a few best times, okay? The early morning hours are great. The evening hours are great. And let me just talk a little bit about the movements of trout throughout the day, okay? Trout are much like bass in that the most active fish during feeding times, they tend to move up in the water column. And now, if you're fishing at Shasta, where kind of the mean depth of the trout in August is 80 to 100 feet, that might mean those fish move up to 65 feet or 75 feet or something like that. Even though they're deep, they still move up. Now, at French Meadows, the fish might be holding at 25 feet deep, but early in the morning and late in the evening, they'll move right up to, right beneath the surface. Typically, if you're in the Sierras and you have a surface temperature that's below 70, at some point during the day, early or late in the day, you can get some bites right up top, and you're going to have a lot of action when the fish are feeding, 10 to 15 feet deep, even though kind of the mean holding depth of the fish might be 25 to 30 feet deep. So, early in the day and late in the day, you can depend on the trout to be most active, and you can depend on them to move up, all right? If there's wind and chop, that's another great time. That could be right in the middle of the day. Anytime there's wind and chop, you can depend on the trout to move up. And that even goes for trout that are holding in really deep water, which is really strange. They might be 100 feet deep, and you get a bunch of chop, and they'll move up to 80 feet deep, even though they're still 80 feet from the surface. But it's like they can sense that chop, it makes them feel comfortable, and it encourages at least some of the trout to feed. So early, late, when you have chop, and also when you have overcast conditions. But that can be a double-edged sword, especially up in the high Sierras, because a lot of times in the summer, when we have overcast conditions, we're going to have thunderstorms, and that means we're going to have lightning. And the last place you want to be in the high Sierras when there's a lightning storm is sitting out in a boat on a lake holding the fishing rod in your hand, unless you want your kayak melted and your rod destroyed, and maybe you destroyed as well. No one wants to come back from a fishing trip looking like an overcooked piece of bacon. So those are just some rules of thumb. But, a lot of times I don't think it's necessary to be on the water at dark 30. Certainly not in the winter, probably not in the fall. But in the summer, yeah, I like to be at the lake at daybreak, and that first hour to 90 minutes can be absolutely critical. That's often when the bite is the best. The evening bites tend to be less intense for me. Your mileage may vary. But that morning, hour to hour and a half is absolutely critical. And the next critical time is when that wind kicks in. And typically in the Sierras, you're going to see that wind kick in, sometime around or just after lunchtime. And fish as long as you feel safe, as long as you know you're safe out there. And what I like to do when I know that afternoon wind is going to kick up, I'll roam out from the boat launch, I'll roam out from the truck early in the morning, but then I'll start coming back in, and I'll fish within, a fairly comfortable paddle of safety, a fairly comfortable pedal from the boat ramp and my truck. But even if that might not be the best area to fish, when I do get that wind, I try to stick it out as long as I can and just work under those white caps, because I know that can be a very intense bite. night, especially, you know, when the wind kicks up about for the first hour, 45 minutes of that wind, things kind of bust loose. And a lot of times you'll see Sierra anglers leave the water at that time, and they're actually, you know, walking away from one of the best bites of the day. Anyway, I hope that clears things up for you, Adam. I hope it kind of gives everyone out there in YouTube trout fishing land some tips for success as we transition out of the spring and into the summer. As I film this, it's Memorial Day weekend, and you know, that's really the kickoff of summer. I'm seeing a lot of people out and about. Looks like we're going to have a pretty normal summer. COVID-19 is kind of in the rear view. Memorial Day weekend is kind of the first normal holiday I've seen in a year. So pretty exciting time to be in Northern California. We are in a drought, but you hunt for your bites. You're going to find some great fishing, and you're going to catch some great fish. Anyway, I'm signing off for now. If you are looking for tackle to fuel those summer fishing adventures, go on over to fishhuntshoot.com. Check out my store. We've always got new products coming in, resupply of products that were sold out, stuff like that. I want to thank you guys for all the support you've been giving the channel and the store. And last but not least, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, and you'll always know when I'm on here talking fishing strategy, UFOs, whatever strikes me at the time. I will turn on that camera and just start talking, and I will share it with you guys here on YouTube as soon as I can. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm Kel Kellogg. You stay safe, and I'll see you next time right here on YouTube.